Hi friends, hello, hi, how are you? I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Hello, hi, happy new year. I hope you guys had a wonderful and a safe new year. And yeah, we're back. Took a little break after Glomus, just took some time to reset, recharge, get my house organized, and now we're back. Today's candle of the day is Bubbly Rosé from Bath & Body Works, a really nice scent. Find that I love like champagne or rosé. Those scents are always some of my favorites. They just have a really nice sweet scent that is really great. And today's video for the first one of 2021, oh God. And today's video for the first one back of 2022, we are doing a
Yass or pause.
I thought it'd be good to go through some of the new releases that have launched during the month of December and also this first week of January, and just break down if I think it's interesting, if I think it's a good release, if I think it's a bad release, just kind of like first impressions. It's very informal, just kind of reacting as I go to what I think is good and what I don't. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Okay, the very first thing I want to talk about actually hasn't even been officially released through like promo pictures yet that I saw, but that is the Bloomin Collection from Wet n Wild. I have to say right off the bat, I think that this is very cute. I think that it's on trend for spring. Are cherry blossoms for like a wintry into spring launch a little boring? Yes. But do I think this is bad? No. The overall collection looks really cute. The blush looks really nice. It does low-key, I'd have to see it in person, but it does low-key look like one of those blushes from Wet n Wild that is like a matte blush that just has random chunks of glitter in it, which if that is the case, I absolutely hate this because I hate those blushes and I hate that formula from Wet n Wild. However, packaging is super cute. Looks like we have like a makeup sponge, a quad, a setting spray, a highlighter maybe, some glosses, just kind of basic stuff. Overall, I think this is a basic collection, but I don't think it's bad. That quad actually looks very cute and cohesive, something that you could very easily use for some everyday makeup looks. I will say I hate the Wet n Wild setting spray, but that's simply because I think it smells absolutely disgusting, like horrifically disgusting. So maybe this one smells like flowers and I would like it more. The glosses look cute. There's like a really shimmery one and a little bit more of an opaque one. Again, the sponge looks cute. This other product, I can't really tell what it's supposed to be, but like that looks fine. Overall, I think this is a fine launch. Personally, will I be yassing or passing? Probably a pass for me. That's mostly just because though I don't really need any of these products personally. Like even though they're cute, packaging's cute, I also have a special place in my heart for the cherry blossoms because I used to go to Washington, D.C. all the time. That's where my grandma lived. So I was always there, and obviously in Washington, D.C. in the springtime, they have these beautiful cherry blossoms. So I have a little bit of a special place in my heart for them. So my kind of gut instinct was almost like, ooh, you love cherry blossoms. They remind you of this like really special time in your life. This would be a cute thing to get. However, I don't need it. Like I don't need any of this, frankly. Also, Wet n Wild is interesting because some of their products are so good and then some of them are so bad, and so I sometimes don't like to buy from them as a brand because it can really be hit or miss what is going to be good and what is going to be bad. Like for example, this blush is probably the one thing I would even consider getting from this collection, but because I don't know if it's going to be that blush that has like the weird chunks of glitter in it, it kind of turns me off to it. The sponge also looks cute, but I don't know. Yeah, this is like overall, I guess I would just say it's a very cute collection. I'm happy that they made it super cohesive. I'm happy that it seems to be sort of small, not super overdone, but it's on theme. I think the theme is cute, maybe not the most original, but I don't think this is something that I personally need to add to my makeup collection just because I have like a love for cherry blossoms, you know? Okay, next. There are a lot of the Lunar New Year collabs in here because a lot of brands, I know that every year they do these Lunar New Year collab. I will say this one from Huda Beauty, I was not super into like at all. I think the red lip is cute. Obviously, I don't mind a matte red lip. I think that those are always good to have. I prefer the Huda Beauty Bullet Lipstick formula, the Power Matte, over the like liquid lipsticks. I just think that the Power Matte is a lot more comfortable, easy to wear, easy to put on, whereas the actual liquid lipsticks are a little bit, they're not like crazy dry, like they're not like highly cosmetics dry, but they're definitely a little bit more on the dry side, whereas the bullet lipsticks are still really matte, but they just have a more comfortable formula. However, what I was really confused about was the palette. So it's the Year of the Tiger, which you would think that that's sort of like a wealth of possibilities. Like there's so much you could do with a sort of tiger theme. And while I think the outer packaging of this is really beautiful, I love the super, super close up tiger. I love the fact that it has the long lashes. Like I think that's actually really cool and chic. The inside is what was really underwhelming to me. I feel like this would have been a great time to do some like fiery reds, some beautiful golds, like really silky golds. While there's two golds in here, they both just look really dull. Especially, I think that's the problem with this palette in general. It just looks really dull overall. Like the entire palette cohesively is super, super boring to me. You do have that sort of orangey and red tone in the bottom, but neither of them are super vibrant. They're both very muted shades. And same thing with the two lighter yellows. I'm confused why there's so many super pale yellow colors, just because I feel like, again, you think of tiger and you think like fierce, bold, something really interesting. And this whole palette just screams kind of boring. I'm confused about why from some angles that bottom color looks like a muted red, and so does that glitter that's like in the corner here. It looks sort of like a reddy purple, but then in other angles it looks like that's like a muted purple, and then the glitter is much more purple and pink. Yeah, overall I just feel like this could have been a lot more interesting and a lot more exciting than it actually ended up being. Especially when you look at it from far away, it just seems kind of bland and boring to me. Also, all of these smaller Huda palettes that I have tried have had just bad formulas. I've tried a couple of these more mini palettes and none of them have been good. Granted, that was a couple of years ago. I think it was like almost 2 years ago. So it's possible that they've changed up the formula since then and they've improved it. I know some people really love these mini palettes now, but regardless, this is definitely a skip for me. Although that for the lipstick packaging, the lipstick looks like it's in the mouth of the tiger though. I can appreciate that. That's actually pretty cool. I like that aspect of it, but everything else is just a little bit like meh. Next, this is a pass. I don't even know why I'm talking about this. This is the Sweet Tea collection from Morphe, the 35T. I don't know. I know that they have a like liner shade called Sweet Tea that's very popular, but honestly, I guess it's kind of cute for spring. Here's the thing though, makeup brands have been launching stuff so much like earlier and earlier and earlier. Like Christmas collections start in October, summer collections start in March, spring collections start in January, that it's like I'm not in a, I know they have to do that, like I understand that, but I'm not in, like as a consumer, I'm not in a spring mindset right now. So even though I can look at this and be like, okay, like this is kind of cute, you've got like pinks and purples, do I think you need this particular palette? Absolutely not. This is so many shades. Honestly, I cannot believe that I used to buy palettes that had 35 plus shades in them. Like that's so jarring to me to think about now, because the idea of buying a palette that is this massive at this point in my life just seems like lunacy to me. I feel like my perfect palette has like 12 to 18 shades, and that's where it stops. This is just so much color and so much repetitive color. Granted, they're like slightly different, but on the eye, those like purples and oranges and pinks are not going to look, even those greens, those like army greens, those are not going to look different on your actual eye. The variation is not intense enough, and because they just wanted to fill this with so many different shadows, you're just getting a lot of shades that are very similar that you like don't need. I also, this is nitpicky, but I don't even like the packaging. I don't like that it just says Sweetest Tea over and over again in like weird font. I feel like it's kind of lazy. To be fair though, I actually was one of the people that used to like the Morphe palettes that were like just the black with the Morphe. I thought those were kind of annoying because if you had a bunch of them, like I did at one point in time, you couldn't really tell the difference between which was which. You had to like label them. However, I liked the aesthetic of that more. I wish that they would do more actual artwork on their palettes. A lot of their palettes are just font in like different colors, and it looks like something that you could literally create on Procreate in like 5 seconds. So I'm not obsessed with the artwork of this. However, I don't think this palette is like terrible. It's not the worst thing I've seen Morphe put out. I'm not gonna buy it because I don't need this many eyeshadows. And I wouldn't even recommend other people buy it just because it's like you don't need this many shades of eyeshadow at one point in time. But like as far as Morphe palettes goes, I think this is a better one that they've put out. I'm just not fully in like a spring mindset yet where I want to think about wearing lilac shades. I'm still so much in the depression of winter. I can't even begin to think about wearing colorful shadows. Okay, next. This product I might buy. This might be the first Yass. I think actually most of these are passes. Hold on. There might be one more Yass, but most of these are passes, but this might be a Yass. So Danessa Myricks, which is a brand that I actually tried out earlier in 2021 and really liked. They have a highlighter palette that is phenomenal. Their cream bronzer is really good. They have some really good products, but they're coming out with these infinite chrome pencils. These just look so cool. They're literally multi-chrome eyeliners, and I just think that is the coolest thing ever. I don't know that I've seen this from other brands before. The only thing I can think of is like duochrome toppers, like glitter toppers, not necessarily duochrome eyeliners. And these also look incredible just based on the swatches, especially like the swatches that are on the arms, because I feel like you can really see the shift. Like the shade Morganite and Rose Quartz Emerald looks stunning. Like a few of these definitely really appeal to me. The only drawback for me is the price point. I just feel like that is a really high price point to pay. And here's what the trap that I fall into. I always see stuff like this, like multi-chromes and things like that. And I'm like, oh my God, I want that so bad. That's so beautiful. I like need that in my life. And then I'll buy them, even though they're kind of expensive. I'm like justifying it because it's a unique product. Like this is definitely a unique product. So I buy them and then I ultimately don't use them. And I feel like you just have to be honest with yourself. Like something can be beautiful and have a great formula and look really stunning, but if you're not going to use it, it's not worth the money. So like, even though to me, this looks stunning and it looks really beautiful, I think what I should do is just maybe buy like one that I'm really, really drawn to, try it out and see if I actually utilize it more often than not. Like if I actually grab, the one I'm really drawn towards is the emerald, just because I feel like under the eye that would look so pretty for like a pop on your lower lash line. I just think that would look gorgeous. So that's one that I'm really drawn toward in this picture, but I feel like buying one, seeing if I actually grab for it, if I actually utilize it, if I actually use it for what its intended purpose is, and then if I really use it and I really love it, then going on and buying a few more. But I feel like with these products, I always want to buy a bunch right off the bat because I can look at this picture and be like, oh my God, I want that color. I love this color's gorgeous. And then I just waste a lot of money because I don't actually reach for them or try them. Also, eyeliners are the one thing that I wish came in minis more often. I feel like it takes forever to get through eyeliners. It takes so long. I wish that I could spend like $12 and get a mini of one of these, especially because they're colorful. I'd love to be able to get a smaller version that I'm actually more likely to use up before it goes bad, number one. And number two, I'm not going to pay as much for something that I'm realistically not going to use every day. I do think these are really pretty though. This is a really interesting and unique launch, and I also think it's very on trend for what we're going to see in this year, which is definitely a lot more multi-chrome and duochromes. I feel like people are getting really, really into those shadows now, and I'm excited about it. I think it's fun. It's like it feels like makeup is getting fun again with stuff like this. Like this is exciting and fun and different. It's not just like another brown neutral eyeliner range or even just like colorful like rainbow. Like this is something very different that I really, really enjoy. Okay, next. This is another Lunar New Year thing, and this is Charlotte Tilbury. I wanted to talk about this because I feel like this is a really good example of a sort of lazy approach to the Lunar New Year. I feel like a lot of brands do this where for special holidays like the Lunar New Year, for like St. Patrick's Day or Valentine's Day, they kind of do this thing where they just repackage stuff in cute aesthetic packaging, but it's like this same old product. Like they don't put the effort into creating something new or something different for this actual holiday. They literally just repackage the old thing. And I don't love that. If you weren't gonna buy the like powders that are here before they repackaged it into tiger print, you weren't gonna buy them. Like there was a reason you weren't gonna buy them. If you already have this powder in the normal packaging, you don't also need it in the tiger packaging. If you were gonna buy this and you happen to love the tiger, like pop off, go for it. But I feel like for most people, they either already have this product or they don't. It's not like these are new products. This product, the Flawless Air Powder, has been out forever, you don't really need to run and go buy a backup just because it has this tiger print on it. I feel like that's just a little silly. Same thing with like the magic cream and stuff like that. You don't need something just because it has cute packaging on it. This is definitely a pass for me. I wish that this almost feels like a little bit, say exploitative, but it does feel a little bit cash grabby when brands do this, when they simply just change the packaging on pre-existing products for holidays like this. It's like they're trying to capitalize and cash in on the sort of hype and sort of excitement people feel around certain holidays and just sort of make a quick buck by doing stuff like this instead of actually putting time into making an original and unique product for this. Like if you want to celebrate the holiday, I think that's great. I think it's great that brands do that. I just wish they were doing stuff like Huda or Clinique, where at least it's like a brand new product that's interesting, that's based around the holiday, instead of just putting tiger stripes on a gold compact that already exists. You know, this is a pass for me. Okay, next we have the Pat McGrath Bridgeton collab. I will say I actually like that Pat McGrath does a lot of collaborations with intellectual properties. I know they did the Star Wars one. I think it's cool because it seems like the owner, Pat, seems like she only does collaborations with intellectual properties that she's like into. So it seemed like she was really into Bridgerton and that's why she did this collaboration. I actually think this looks cool. I didn't watch Bridgerton, so I don't really know how on theme this is, but based on everything I saw from the show, like all the trailers and clips I saw on TikTok, it does seem like this is a pretty fitting collection. I am curious about if this blush palette with the highlighter is the exact same one that they just sold for their Christmas, just repackaged, because it looks very similar. It could be slightly different, I guess, but it definitely looks similar enough that like you don't need both. Like I would not need, it's either the same or very similar. So like if you got the Christmas one like I did, you probably do not need this one. However, this gold highlighter and the white highlighter look stunning. I'm very interested in those. The problem I have that with Pat McGrath individual highlighters, it can be really hit or miss on formula. Some of them I absolutely love and I think they're really gorgeous, and some of them I have hated. I will never forget the really expensive basically paperweight that I bought from them that it was like totally useless as a highlighter, but the packaging was gorgeous. I hated that. So I don't want to make that mistake again. But I do think that these look really pretty. I like the theme. I love the embossing. I will say, I think that the eyeshadow palette definitely seems to match the theme. And I like that they threw in that sort of icy blue because I think that you could make some really interesting looks with that icy blue and those sort of mauvey pink tones. Or you could do something a little bit more like less unexpected and use those glitters. But at the end of the day, the reason I think some Pat McGrath shadows are worth the money for me is because of the really transformative shades. And these palettes tend to not have those really transformative shades. If they don't have the super high intensity glitters, I'm probably not going to reach for the palette. I'm just being honest. Like, I think that the matte shades in the Pat McGrath palettes are kind of just like meh. They're not bad, but they're not amazing. And I think that the normal glitters honestly are like a little dry. So for me, this whole collection is a skip. I mean, I'm kind of thinking about that gold highlighter. Also, I don't need another gold highlighter, like at all. Not even a little bit do I need another gold highlighter. So honestly, I probably, same thing with like a whitey champagne. I don't need any more highlighters of those colors. So I probably will skip this collection, but I will say, I think it's pretty. It's just not really my taste in makeup. Am I crazy about the Pat McGrath palettes? Like, do you guys like the ones that don't have the really reflective shimmers in it? I feel like I sound crazy when I say that because everyone raves about the Pat palettes. All of her mini ones that don't have, or even the big ones, like the big Christmas ones that don't have the high shine, high glitter ones in them, I just never really like or reach for those. Whereas like her ultra glittery ones, I always reach for. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about is the BH Cosmetics collab with Doja Cat. This is a miss for me. I'm bummed. First of all, I do think that the liquid eyeshadows look really pretty. I think that they're really cool. They obviously have a very metallic finish. Again, we're seeing like those duochromes, multi-chrome trend. Like, I actually think those are pretty cool and they're at a really good price point. BH Cosmetics is always at a good price point, but I feel like those are really neat. And if they're a similar formula to the other glitters that BH Cosmetics has made, then I think they'll actually be really good and worth the money. Am I gonna buy any? Maybe. Like, if I'm in an Ulta and I'm able to swatch one and be like, okay, I like this, I might buy one of them, especially that pinky purple one I think is really cool. And also that green is kind of funky. So like, maybe I would buy these. I think what I don't like is the collection as a whole. It's a little confusing on if it's supposed to be more skincare slash base based or if it's supposed to be like sparkles and glitters and eyeshadows, like just kind of disjointed in how they went about it. Also, nothing about this screams Doja Cat to me. And the thing about BH Cosmetics, I appreciate that they keep their packaging simple so that way they can keep their prices low. Like, I don't think that's a bad thing. I'd rather have lower prices than these crazy out of the box, you know, components or packaging that they're putting stuff in. I'd much rather have something that's a little bit more affordable. But when you're working with someone like Doja Cat, who is really known for being very campy and very super stylish and pushing boundaries with fashion and pushing boundaries with makeup, I kind of wish that they had done something a little bit more unique and different as opposed to like dewdrops and like glowy base stuff. Like, I just wish that they had done something, like, I think the liquid eyeshadows were a good idea, but why not do some crazy like glitter lipsticks or do some, even what Danessa Myricks did with the crazy eyeliners, like something that's really out there and colorful and bright and just very different, whereas pushing these more dewy skin products on top of also having these very bold liquid eyeshadows, it just feels really disjointed to me. It feels a little bit confusing to me. I also don't like the makeup bag. That's petty because it's not really a part of it, but I don't like the makeup bag very much. Yeah, I think I'm just disappointed in this in general. I feel like Doja Cat could have been a real source of inspiration for this collection. It could have been a real source of inspiration for this brand. And also I think with BH Cosmetics, I mean, they're not like dying, but they're not as hype as they were in like 2018. I feel like there's not too many launches from them that get really hyped, especially on social media anymore. So I feel like working with someone like Doja Cat could have been a really amazing opportunity for them to like kind of not revive, but just sort of like re-hype the brand because she's such a star right now. And I feel like they kind of dropped the ball on especially those face products. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of those. I think the collection as a whole just feels very like meh to me. Whereas like I would have loved to see, if anybody, I want to see an eyeshadow palette from, it's Doja Cat. Like give me an eyeshadow palette full of glitter and neons. I would have loved to see that, but no. We just got some like face milks apparently and some liquid shadows. Okay, this is the other Yass. This is actually like a definite Yass. I need this. They have a new Gloss Bomb Heat Shade in a gold color. I want this so badly. I think this is stunning. This shade, 10 out of 10. This is stunning. Like this gold lip gloss is so freaking beautiful. And I do love the Fenty gloss formula in general. I find that they don't get goopy. They're not super sticky. They have a really nice wear time. So this is something that I was actually super, super excited to see. I know that Trixie Mattel also has a gold lip gloss. I only know that because one of my friends has it. And I know that they really love that lip gloss. So maybe I'll look into that one too. But I've been eyeing something like this, a really gold shimmery lip gloss for a while. The thing I like about this is it's not too gold. It seems like it just has flecks of gold glitter mixed in with the formula instead of being like bam in your face, you're wearing metallic lips. This seems just like a little bit more subtle, which I really like. But yeah, I'm super into this. The second I saw this on Trend Mood, I was like, oh, absolutely yes. Like sign me up. I will be getting this. I think this is so cool, so on trend. Ugh, love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, the next thing we have is from Artist Couture, and this is their Supreme Nudes, the Quickie palette. I like this. I'm probably not gonna buy it. I already have a couple of the Supreme Nudes, not the smaller ones, but the larger Supreme Nude palettes, and they are kind of my favorite palettes. Honestly, I reach for them a ton. They're just really solid, beautiful neutral palettes. They're very easy to make super glam. They're very easy to wear as more basic and neutral and less sort of in your face. But either way, I think that both of those are very good palettes, the two that I do have. The reason I probably won't buy this one is literally just because I don't think any of these are super unique to my collection. However, if this would be unique to you, or you just really like this color story, I will say that the Artist Couture eyeshadow palette formula is absolutely out of this world stunning. The shimmers are gorgeous. The mattes blend like a dream. The shimmers are amazing too because they're that very sort of like wet, beautiful, hyper reflective shimmers, which while I love a good glittery shimmer, I also love this very wet looking, super intense high shine shimmer that they do. That formula is phenomenal. Honestly, looking at these swatches, I'm almost tempted to buy this simply because I think that those shimmers look so out of this world. Like that sort of greeny gold one, sign me up. Like this this does look really gorgeous. Maybe I should go swatch. No, I don't need it. I don't need the shades. I don't need the shades. I have shades like this a million times over. They're not anything super unique to me. Even those shimmers, I have shimmers that are similar to this. Actually, that greeny gold and also that sort of greeny brown kind of remind me of the Jackie Aina Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. That's kind of what I think of when I look at these. I'm not saying they copied. I'm just saying like that is kind of what I think of. Like I just remember, I know I have shades that are similar to this. Same thing with that sort of pinky gold. Even though that's really pretty, I know I have other shades like that. So even though this is a pass for me, I don't think it's a bad palette. I think it's very cute. It's cohesive and sort of goes along with the theme of all of the other palettes they've been putting out lately. And yeah, I think this is cute. I do wish that they had chosen a different color for it though. I wish they would just do the black palettes. I feel like that looks so sleek and good. This color I don't like, this sort of weird like khaki color. I don't think it does a lot of justice to the actual eyeshadow. I feel like against black, this would have popped so much more than this like weird khaki color. I felt the same way when they did that mint green palette that had like the Easter colors in it. It was so pretty, but it's like, why did you choose this like weird Tiffany blue mint green color? It doesn't really go with all of the other colors you've chosen. But regardless, what's inside is what matters. And I would bet that the inside of this palette is going to be absolutely stunning and beautiful. Okay, the final thing I want to talk about is called She Glam Official. And this is their horoscope eyeshadow palettes. I don't know a ton about horoscopes, okay? Like I know I'm a Pisces and that's why I cry. Like that's pretty much where it stops for me. I don't know a ton about it. However, based on the comments, also what I've seen other people say, I actually think that these are really well done. I feel like a lot of times horoscope palettes, they've been done a lot by other brands and I feel like they always kind of miss the mark. This one feels very on brand and very sort of correct. Normally I don't love when eyeshadow palettes are different shapes, but I almost like the fact that you have these sort of like, it's not an octagon, it's a hexagon. Right. I almost like that they have a hexagon on either side and then with the squares, because even though the hexagon is there, it's not like it's wasted space. Like there's not like tons of space around it they could have used instead. And I also think it gives it a really cool aesthetic look. I think that the cover art for these palettes is absolutely stunning, like so beautiful. They look like tarot cards. I think it's so stunning, so beautiful. And honestly, I really like the color stories. I think they're all very unique, very different while still being monochromatic and cute. Oh man. Wait, I'm so bummed. Okay, I still mean everything I say, but I am bummed because I just Googled it because I wanted to know like, oh, where can you buy this? And it's Shein. She Glam is Shein's makeup company. Oh man, also the swatches look really bad. The makeup on the models looks not very good. Man, that sucks because I actually think that, I was wondering why they were so cheap. I was like, that seems like crazy cheap for what they are because it's Shein makeup. Never mind, I wouldn't recommend these. Still, aesthetically, I think that this is like one of the best horoscope collections I've seen, but I don't think I would support Shein, especially with makeup. I understand Shein is a good option because you just can't afford clothes anywhere else. Like, I'm not gonna shame people for doing what they have to do. However, makeup is something that you can buy affordable makeup most places. You can find $6 eyeshadow palettes at the drugstore, at Ulta. You can find them online. Like you can find $6 eyeshadow palettes a lot of places that are probably gonna be better quality, number one, because this quality really does not look good. Like I'm zooming in on the models and the glitter just looks so chunky and gross. And number two, then you're not supporting a website like Shein, which is obviously very problematic. I could do a whole thing on this, but very problematic in their own way. Then you're not supporting a company like Shein. You don't really need to. There's not like a need to buy makeup from them. You can get affordable makeup other places. Yeah, man, not the biggest fan of this. That sucks though, because the packaging was so pretty, but all of these swatches, oh my God. These shadows do not look good. I'm gonna say it. These do not look great. It's not even the model's fault. Like all these models are stunning. You can see the separation of the glitters and mattes on the eye of the like professional photos they took to promote this. Yeah, I would skip those. Never mind. That's a definite pass from me. Absolutely not. I commend them for coming up with something so creative and really aesthetically pleasing, but like absolutely not. Anyway, that's gonna be it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I also hope you have had a great start to 2021. 2022. I love you guys so much. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, or just subscribe, or do neither. Honestly, just so happy you're watching me. Thank you so much for being here. My merch, my social media, and my podcast and vlog channel will be linked down below, along with my social justice spotlight, which will have some great links and information about important causes this month. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
What?